The eufyMake E1 UV printer. This machine is unbelievable. A UV printer I can easily use here at home. UV printers normally come with a high price point, but not this one. And UV printers also normally require a lot of maintenance, but not this one. I have several lasers and 3D printers that I love to create with, but one of the reasons I've not wanted a UV printer before was the daily maintenance and cleaning that UV printers always require. But this is amazing. The E1 has a feature which eliminates the daily maintenance and has its own ink cleaning cartridge that gives us automatic printhead cleaning and maintenance. So now I definitely wanted one. If you are new to UV printing, this is a flatbed UV printer that lays down ink that is then followed by ultraviolet light that almost instantly cures the ink. Not like DTF or sublimation printers, this UV printer allows us to print directly on surfaces like plastic, wood, metal, and much more. And I will show you all of these throughout the video, along with all the amazing features this UV printer has to offer. This is a great addition to any business or any opportunity to create new and innovative designs, or to create some unique items for a fresh new business idea. Just then you saw me adding my Red Rocking Bird logo to some of the 3D printed items that I sell. So as always with my videos, I hope this gives you some inspiration. Unlike some UV inks, there is a bit of flex in the ink that is provided with this UV printer, so I was able to successfully print on something like a piece of leather for some cap patches. And as you can see, the print quality really is excellent. It has a modular print bed design, and these pieces are easily interchanged with the quick release feature. It's so easy and efficient, I love it. It's compact in size, as you can see when it's folded up. It hardly takes up any footprint at all, and it's nice and compact with two handles on the side, and small enough and light enough to be able to take to craft fairs if you so wish. But that being said, the print area is still pretty big, and we can print up to A3 in size. The other modular print bed is the rotary attachment, enabling us to print directly on our tumblers, mugs, and cylindrical items. Again, easily interchanging these. I have a metal powder-coated tumbler that I'm going to place inside that we're going to be able to print directly onto the item. And then the machine performs its magic. Ideas and designs are endless for this, and I got my son to draw me a picture on Procreate, and I've imported this in, and I'm going to UV print this design onto the tumbler. This works through an app that is easy to navigate and use, guiding you through the whole process. I am not a technical person, but I got started super quickly, and I'm in awe of this machine's capabilities. Available on PC, Mac OS, and mobile platforms, and I'm using this with my iPad, creating items with exceptional print quality that promise to stand the test of time. And I think the most budget-friendly UV printer on the market. The price point is amazing, and I believe currently at the point of making this video, rivaled by no one. Take a look at the links to the machine in the description below. This design covered the whole tumbler, so it took about 45 minutes to print. Other designs are far quicker than this, and I'll show you many of those later in the video. A great product idea, turning a picture into a product, which will make a really lovely gift. The rotary attachment's really clever. It scans the item to create a lovely level surface ready for printing. And it works well if the cup has a handle too. Thank you to eufyMake for sending me this UV printer to share it with you ahead of the release date. I want to be able to add my logo to lots of different items and lots of different materials. This is a metal board, and if I select just CMYK and no white, something this size hardly uses up any ink at all and is very economical for the ink usage. Another great feature is the camera feature, making it really quick, simple and easy to align and start printing your designs. The E1 UV printer automatically measuring the surface of the object to be printed. These are ceramic magnets and they print really lovely, really quickly and easily too. In the software, there's also a library of lots of different items that you can easily add, along with just adding some simple text. Here I'm testing the printer on some really shiny metal dog tags. I selected just to print in the white ink, and here you can see it taking the camera, taking a photo and aligning everything so that it prints absolutely perfectly. And as you can see, yes, it does. And the print quality really is great. With the scratch test, nothing moves. So the print quality really should last, and we have any color possibility available compared to here where I lasered on the back of this. Multiple possibilities, fast, efficient, and durable. What's not to love? And of course, photographs can also be added into the software, and these printed, and amazing results also. My other son drew this, and so I wanted to add this to a little wooden keychain. Really quick, simple, and easily. It prints lovely on wood as well. The app also has lots of other useful tools. Here I'm using the background remover where I can take away the white from the back of this logo. This is an air dry clay dish that I've made, and it's painted with acrylic paints, and this also prints really well with the UV printer. Being able to batch print any logos or designs is also a really good feature. Slate is another good material to be able to UV print on, so I have some of these coasters, and this also works really well. These ceramic coasters also printed really well, apart from when you have something a little bit bigger than the mini flatbed, you actually want to make sure you use the larger flatbed, because as you can see here, a little bit got missed off. But the crispness and the print quality is lovely. The way it prints just to the edge there, it really is beautiful. These took about 5 minutes to print. I want to be able to get designs on all different kinds of items, so here I have a plastic bottle. So let's see the results on this. Again, the camera feature is so handy and so easy to use. It really is precise. Again, printing in around 5 minutes, not using much ink, but fantastic results, and scratch-free too. Within the software, there's also some AI tools, and these are great for being able to put in a photograph of absolutely anything and transforming it into something like this, which is designed to be like an oil painting. And honestly, the results of this are absolutely amazing. Adding an A3 white canvas into the printer and allowing it to do its magic. I added my photograph of this cow with some text on, put it into the software, and really the machine does the rest of the magic. The ink is layered up and is made to be 3D, as if they're real brushstrokes like an oil painting. You may wonder what the odour's like that comes off this. I don't love the smell, but if you have enough ventilation, then it shouldn't be a problem. It doesn't smell anywhere near as much as 3D resin printing. This one did take 3 hours to print, and yes, it will have taken up a fair amount of ink, but I absolutely love how this has turned out, and my friend who owns Daresbury Dairy, I know will absolutely love it. The results are stunning. They really are. I am absolutely amazed. It feels gorgeous, it looks gorgeous, and it's definitely worth experimenting with this one, and all with such little effort from ourselves. What would you make first? Let me know in the comments below. These don't have to be printed on canvas. They can be printed onto absolutely any hard surface. Here I just have a scrap piece of cardboard packaging, a picture of a hippo that I also added some text to. I'm going to cut the card down. I'm going to add it to another card. Perfect for a greetings card. Let's test the printer on some bare wood. I never use these little sections that are meant to go in the back of the canvas frame, so I'm going to turn them into some garden labels. Writing text like this hardly takes up any ink at all, and I'm sure we could make many thousands of these before we use up much of that ink. On the bare wood, the print quality is great. If I add some varnish onto these, and then I can add some sticks and place them in the garden with my plants. And I just hope all of these are giving you some inspiration of how you could add some text to absolutely any product or any design of your choice. I like to recycle a lot of items, and so I have lots of glass jam jars. and I wondered if we could print on this. The rim ideally needs to be the same diameter as the actual jam jar, so I experimented and added a bit of cushioning and a bit of tape around the thread of the jam jar to see if I could make it work. If I was going to do this more often, I'll design a 3D printed little jig to go on that thread to make life easier, but it did work, it came out great. Glass isn't always the best surface for UV printers though, as it can be a little bit too shiny and the print could scratch off. Here it went on a little bit thicker, so it's not a fair comparison. On shiny surfaces, to improve durability and prevent scratching off, there's always the option to apply a UV primer before printing. But in this instance, I'm really happy with how the ink has cured really well onto this glass jam jar. Ceramics that are glazed can also be a little bit too shiny and the inks might just scratch off. We can also get sticker papers to UV print on, and I have an experiment with these. This is not what I got the machine for, so I'm not quite sure if I've quite got to grips with it yet though. So if an item like this can't be easily gripped by the machine, then we can add a label to it, a sticker to it like these, and they do turn out really nicely. On my lasers, I love to cut acrylic and make different items like this is for a little keyring. And if the UV printer works well on these acrylic pieces, it's going to give me so many more ways to be able to add designs and features onto these pieces. These watermelons were one of the stock images in the software. I added them in and they've printed beautifully, they really have, so I can make this into a little keyring. Hopefully it prints just as well on clear acrylic, so let's test it. I cut designs like this out on my laser, and this is just a scrap piece. When sending a job to print, you select the material type, and then it shows you how much ink it uses. So for this, obviously barely nothing. The watermelons took less than 2 minutes to print, and Sarah took less than 1 minute to print. And I'm really happy that on the clear acrylic, it also seems really scratch resistant too. And so another common application for this would be a phone case. So I'm using the 3D effect again. I have a picture of a fox. Yes, it takes up a little bit more ink as I'm doing the 3D effect, and this one took about 45 minutes to print as it is 3D, but as you can see, another really stunning results, all created in the AI tools, as well as this magnet that's also in 3D, and the results really are fantastic. You can go much thicker than this. You can go up to, I think it's 5 or 6 millimeters in thickness on the 3D effect, and it really does produce fantastic results. Thinking about the ink usage and trying to get the most out of the cartridges of ink, I would likely do some products where they were small earrings or some keychains, probably with the 3D effect on to make the use of that feature. But then also it's good to go big, and something like this hardly takes up any ink at all and took about 45 minutes to print. The design of this UV printer has made it really easy to keep it lovely and clean and tidy. There are interchangeable mats that go in and out, so when the sticky has gone off, because the sticky just helps everything attach, and when you maybe have got some extra ink that is cured on there, you can just take them off and replace them. For ones like this though, I tend to take them off and I'll store them for again, just in case you know you're going to have another messy project in the future. The flatbed allows an item that is up to A3 in size and up to 60 millimeters in height. So for items that are larger than that, like this big bucket, we can create stickers with the films and then apply these to these larger items. There you just saw me rubbing down the bucket with some alcohol. I've not quite perfected this technique yet, but you get the idea. Going from something really large to something very tiny, I wanted to test if we could print really, really small. And so I have this really tiny piece of metal on a pendant, and I've sent this through the UV printer. It used barely any ink at all, and it has been able to print really quite clearly. But when I turned it over to do the other side, the ink actually pinged off. I was like, where's it gone? And as you can see, it easily scratches off. That's because it is so fine. but you can see the accuracy of the machine by doing this. On some wood or some acrylic, it would be perfect. Also within the app, there really are so many fonts to choose from. We're spoilt for choice. So let me tell you a bit more about the ink cartridges. Here they are 100 milliliters in each one. In the CMYK, the white and the grey. I'm not sure if it is grey or if that one is the gloss. Somebody correct me on that in the comments below. I'm under the impression that the white and the grey are used a lot when creating the 3D effect. The only problem I came across was the temperature. Here in the UK, it's the spring at the moment, and so the temperature with the door open was around 15 degrees. It says this needs to operate at 15 degrees C and above. So to be able to have my door open for ventilation, I did need to put a little heater for a little while onto the machine, just to warm it up a little bit, to get the area temperature to just past about 17 degrees C. The inks are also fairly expensive. I'll put a link below so you can take a look how much they are in your area. First of all, putting this on my dining table, it did seem to wobble the table quite a bit, but it never affected the print quality, so sometimes I just put this onto a more sturdy table or down on the floor. The inks are also not food safe, but the E1 is Climate Partner certified. The use of this machine opens up a whole new world of possibilities, and roll to film will also be available on this machine, making it even more adaptable. Let me know what queries you have in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in my next creative video.